I had an amazing time out there. I learned a lot. Living in New York, it'll teach you some lessons quick, fast, and in a hurry. But it's an experience that I wouldn't change for anything. And if I let that fear of the unknown, not knowing what exactly that looks like to live in New York and be hopping on and off the subway, I made a career change. I was doing real estate in New York. I didn't know if I was going to succeed or fail at that. But I did it, had some success at it, and loved it as I was doing it. And if I would have let that fear mindset take hold of me, then I never would have experienced that. And some of those skills that I learned when I was in New York and in sales, I use that today. So another career change. After a couple of years in New York, we decided that this was a great experience, but we wanted to buy another property, and where we wanted to live in New York, the average price of a home there was like $1.4 million. So that wasn't necessarily going to happen anytime soon. So we decided to move again, and this time we looked at all metro areas and looked to see what areas the economy was doing well in and where we could thrive. And I wanted to go back to teaching and coaching. So I wanted to find a place where I could do that easily, where they had an easy transition into that. And so Houston, Texas came up. We saw that opportunity. I had a friend who was down there. Waited for my wife to get a job offer, and then we moved to Houston, Texas. And I've been down there for 2 years now. And I love it. I love it. There's just so many positive things. Like I said, the economy is good. I'm working in a place where I'm thriving right now. And once again, I had one of my best friends when we were about to move from New York. He said, "Man, you're not afraid to just up and move your family, huh?" I said, "Nah, man. This actually brings us closer together. We are a unit. We have each other, and more than that, man, I know God has got my back. So anyway, we moved to Houston. Things are going as well as I could have hoped and a little better. And just once again, it showed me that if I would have kept that fear mindset, right? Texas is the deep South, right? It's a conservative place. They racist out here, right? That's the idea that people have, especially from up here about Texas. But that's not been my experience at all. It's been a very welcoming place to me. Houston is actually a very liberal city. And I'm just grateful to God that I was able to take that opportunity and move with it. So James, like I said, James asked me to talk a little bit about transition. And I think a big part of transition and being able to make these changes that I've had to make in my life is just knowing that at the end of the day, God has got my back. I'm willing to work hard, and He's equipped me with the ability to solve problems when they come up. And I just don't want to live in a fear mindset, because if I lived in a fear mindset, I wouldn't have experienced these things that I've experienced. And who knows what's left? Who knows what opportunities are going to come up? And as long as I examine them and it makes sense, I'm going to take advantage of those opportunities. So, like I said, sorry I didn't have anything great planned for you guys, but that's my story, and maybe it helps somebody just to understand that. Just don't live in that fear mindset, because you never know what's on the other side.
Before you sit down, B,
All right.
questions that they might not know to ask.
Sure.
How did you deal with that culture shock of moving from what you know here in Pontiac to Cranbrook?
It was tough, to be honest with you. When I first got to Cranbrook and I saw some of these kids from these very privileged backgrounds sagging their pants and using language that we were using here, that was a little bit of a shock to me, and there was some things that I had to deal with, some of my own hang-ups and baggage about what it really means, like what is Black culture, and what does that mean when other people appropriate or seemingly appropriate what I consider to be Black culture. So there was some growing pains there, especially with that, and then also just seeing how they lived, and I had a moment where it was just like, these people are no better, right, or no worse than me or the people that I grew up with or my family or anybody else, right? It just so happened that they were born on this part of time, right? And we were born on this part of time. So I think some growth happened there too, because I didn't look at money as being what determines somebody's value, right? Because I got to see that, you know what, some of these people who have money, some of them are great, and some of them are not so great, right? And so the money doesn't determine it, it's something else. It's something else. Yes.
I think the biggest thing that's sticking out to me about your story is awareness of the opportunity. I think like what we're not accrediting to your story right now is that you were 16 years old and that you had the mindset to say, let me not muddle in what I came from or how I feel like it should be, but let me find a way to accept and advance. And I think a lot of us don't realize that, like you said it earlier, we could be our own roadblock. You could let that mindset of fear because of what this on the south side of town is supposed to be versus Bloomfield has predicted for us. And if you let that fear mindset just control you, it's really blocking you from opportunities, not that one others can open for you or the environment you have, but also what you're willing to start, implement, or even encourage. Like now you advance your story and you have children. What lessons do you give them from you?
So, like, you know, even in just thinking about what what you actually talk about, you guys today focusing on, you know, dress and fashion. Even so, it doesn't have to be something like moving to New York or moving to Texas or going to Cranbrook or whatever. Like, even if you think about how you want to present yourself, right, versus how everybody else around you is dressing. If you operate out of that fearful mindset, you know, you're going to want to just fit in, even if that's not how you truly feel you want to represent yourself, right? If everybody else around you is sagging their pants and wearing their clothes all loose and sloppy, and that's not really your style, but you want to be, you know, a part of the group, then you're going to just fall into that. But, you know, it takes courage, right, to say, you know what, that's not me. I want to do something a little different. I want to rock this different look. And I was blessed because I had these brothers when I was growing up that we kind of had the same mindset with that. And so, that's helpful finding folks that, you know, are of a like mindset. But at the end of the day, you're going to have courage to step out and kind of forge a different path.
I want to make a comment. I mean, I commend you on what you're doing and where you're at currently, because you don't look at, and correct me if I'm wrong, but the way I see it and what you're saying is that it's an encouragement because you use your mental capabilities, of course, with God being on your side, to be able to advance from one place to another, or from the finance school district to the Cranbrook school district. It's beautiful the way you did that. You don't look at the materialistic things, you know, money, power, you know, things like that. You look at the mentality, your learning, your concept, and I look at that's why you're so successful. I know success is not just stopping at one place. You got to continue to keep going. But you were successful moving from Michigan to New York to Texas because you took what you had in your mind, in your head, to move forward, to be comfortable in moving. And so a lot of people look at like a lot of our friends, are you gonna move because you don't have any money? You gonna move because you don't have a job? But no, you took what you have, and the same thing you had here in Michigan, you had that same mindset in New York to give you the money, to give you the power of jobs, and the same thing you did in Texas. And I encourage a lot of people to have that same type of attitude because you never know what your surroundings is going to bring. But if you have it up here, you can always bring those surroundings wherever you go and how you do it, and have a God on your side. Well, I mean, I commend you wholeheartedly for having that, because the power is up here, the money is up here, God is up here, and to move from state to state, from country to country, if you got it up here, you can take everything you need, the housing, the power, and everything else, and take it from wherever you go. So honestly, I commend you, and I want to ask this question, not to keep you so long. The same concept that, you know, like you got the upper bound programs and so forth. I know in a lot of our urban cities,